That's better. Hi everybody, welcome back. I just got home from Toronto last night. I'm still a little bit under the weather if you missed it. Your girl's not been doing so hot. I had a rough weekend and I'm coming to today, and that means obviously that it's time to do some meal prep. I love my meal prep so much. I love my weekly little reset, doing my meal prep, and I pretty much just make the same things all the time. And I almost never show you when I'm actually doing my meal prep. Sometimes it'll like flit about here and there in some vlogs, but usually my meal prep time is like my me time. I literally have my laptop sitting here and I have a show playing, or I catch up on my favorite YouTube videos, or I'll just have some music playing, and it's kind of like my little zen time. But I'm gonna bring you into the fold today. It's gonna be a little chaotic, it's gonna be a little bit messy, but let me show you my meal prep. And this is kind of gonna be the winter version because I've not been feeling so well. I was just craving some like really yummy warm meals to keep us cozy. And for my meal prep this time, I'm still very much kind of focusing on like the meal plan life, because we're actually gonna be shooting just after Christmas for the program in 2026. So I'm still gonna be keeping an eye on it. We're rolling with the high protein. I'm focusing a lot on my fiber and just making sure that we're eating a lot of good nourishing ingredients over the holiday season as much as we can. So I'm going to be, prepping a few things. I like to prep ingredients instead of meals. That just allows me to be a little bit more flexible throughout the week. It helps prevent getting bored, I guess, of your food. And I can switch it up as inspiration strikes. So I did a Costco order and I got some things from the grocery store. And the only other thing that I bought that I'm actually really excited to use today, I just went and picked it up from the mailbox, but Nara Smith had done a collaboration with this algae cooking club, and they did a roasted garlic oil, and I was so excited. I had bought a pack of 2 and it actually smells crazy. Dan just used this to make his lunch, but I haven't tried it yet. No, it smells so garlicky, but I was excited about this because I use a cooking oil spray, and they actually say not to use that when it comes to like your stainless steel pans and whatnot, and apparently this has like a high burn point, so it's good for cooking. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be using that for our cooking today too. So go Nara Smith. Not an ad, not sponsored. I bought that with my own moolah, okay? So I've got my little bag of rice here and it's almost out, so I also have a backup. But I'm gonna start with this actually because while I'm chopping up the rest of the veggies, that was the end of it, not even a full cup. Full cup of rice. And then I actually like to take my black lentils and sprinkle it in here. I have tried cooking them separately and I've cooked them together. I don't measure that, I just kind of eyeball it. But you could do like a 1.5 ratio kind of vibe. So like 1 cup of rice and then half a cup of lentils, or however much you want. But my grain of choice changes as I see fit. But right now I'm loving this kind of like fluffy rice and lentil mixture. It tastes very good and it keeps the fiber up, kind of just, I don't know. I like a mixture of the two. Then the key is to cook it in chicken stock. It just adds so much flavor, makes it so delicious. And I've been known to improperly prepare my rice. Dan usually is the one who prepares the rice in the household because I don't love to measure things, but I have measured it today, so let's hope. In here, I'm gonna add some bay leaves. I just love the scent and the aroma, and I feel like it just leaves a really nice flavor behind. Sometimes I'll add some cumin as well, but then just some salt, and I'm gonna put this to boil 20 minutes, it'll be good. Then I'm gonna preheat the oven to 400. And while that rice is going, I'm gonna prepare our sheet vegetables. So Dan has specifically requested no broccoli for this week for the meal prep, so I bought just a bunch of other vegetables that I enjoy eating. So we've got some zucchini, some bell peppers, red onions, big bag, but you'll see why later, and then some carrots. This is the issue with Instacart. I didn't realize that it was this giant bag of carrots, so I'm gonna have to do something creative with this later this week. Maybe I'll make some like carrot muffins or a carrot loaf or something to bring to some family, but that was a lot of carrots. I can't decide if I want to do like shredded carrots or just chopped. I might just do chopped, but I've got a mandolin just in case, especially for the onions later, because onions just murder me. So I'm gonna give these a nice rinse. I'm gonna chop them all up, throw them onto the baking sheet and toss those into the oven, and those are gonna bake while we prepare our next dish. And I actually also wanted to say that I'm keeping my big stock pot off to the side because all of the fun scraps that I'm going to have today, I'm gonna be throwing in here so I can prepare a bone broth later. I don't think I'm gonna actually cook it today because I don't really feel comfortable leaving it overnight, but tomorrow I'm gonna let that simmer and cook all day long. So I have some fresh bone broth too. Let's chop up these veg. That's one way to clear the sinuses. Woo! Oil, salt, pep, Greek seasoning, onto the veg, and plop this baby into the oven. One thing that I want to meal prep this week is a turkey chili, but because I'm tracking, because we're staying shredded, or at least attempting to, over the holidays and until 2026, I'm basically gonna be preparing all of the ingredients separately. So while it is nice to have a little turkey chili stew all boiling together in one, I'm just gonna prepare all the things separately. So onto my baking sheets here, I'm gonna chop up my carrots and sweet potato and have those baking into little cubes so that I can put those into my stew. And then I'm also just gonna take regular whole sweet potatoes, have those on another baking sheet for my other meals, because I do love to have a little sweet potato. Also, you might not have to have the soup, but it's soup season, okay? It's time for soup and stew. But I also love to take the ingredients of a little turkey chili and just like pour it over the sweet potato, have like a loaded baked sweet potato. That would be very nice too. Anyway, gonna chop these all up. Ta-da! Set a timer for 40 minutes. So while those are in the oven, I'm gonna prepare the rest of the turkey chili ingredients, which is going to be my ground turkey with taco seasoning. And then I'm gonna do a little bean mixture. I've got some white and black beans, and I'm just gonna fry both of these up with taco seasoning. And I'm also doing the beans separately because sometimes I also like to use them with my breakfast or just my lunch bowls or whatever. Again, when you prepare the ingredients separately, it allows you to have the option of variety should some inspiration for other meals strike. The bulk of the meal prep is done. It's been sitting here and cooling so that I can put it all away in containers. Which I have to say, this has just made me realize that I need to get some new containers. I love the little glass ones from IKEA, but I think I want to go back and see if they have like the wider, longer ones that I think are really good for stacking in the fridge. I don't technically have enough when I do this like big bulk meal prep. It also takes up a lot of space in the fridge. I think I could find something that's a little bit more functional in the Frigidaire, but for now, these are perfect. So we've got our turkey. We've got our rice and lentil mix. I'm just gonna pick out the bay leaves, add those into the stock pot. Ugh, she looks perfect, perfect. Rice, check. We've got our delicious roasted veg. I don't know if my sweet potatoes and carrots are gonna fit in this, but I'm out of my big containers. Also the smoked paprika on these, oh my gosh, it's so good. We've got our beautiful sweet potatoes. It's perfect, it's perfect. And we've got our beans. Beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. So I'll show you how I would prep my little turkey chili, and I'm doing this because obviously it's kind of like a macro-friendly option. It's doing it in a way that allows me to see exactly what I'm putting into my little bowl here. So I would just take my little pot, put it onto my scale, scoop in the carrot and sweet potato mixture. Perfect. You can see how you would fly through this meal prep. You know what I'm saying? I could have probably made 2 trays of that, but I will. Then I'm gonna put about 50 to 60 grams of my beans. And then however much protein you want, I'm gonna do about 125 of my turkey. Perfect. Put it all in a pot like that, pour in some broth, or if I had prepared my bone broth, I could have done my own bone broth like that. And then boil this on the stove with some salt. Now you could add tomato paste to that. You could fry up some garlic and onions first if you wanted like the full aroma. You could also get some sour cream, cilantro, whatever. I'm trying to just make this as easy and efficient as possible, so I'm just using all the ingredients that I've meal prepped today. But obviously depending on your grocery shop, what you've picked up, what you feel like throughout the week, you can change it however you wish. But sometimes you just need a nice little warm bowl of turkey chili. And it's gonna taste so good. I just took this off the stove. This is gonna be so hot. Listen, I know it doesn't look all that exciting, but I promise it tastes so much better than it looks. Even like a little Greek yogurt on here, some cilantro, This little bowl of turkey chili is gonna get me through the winter, let me tell you. Now I want to make one of my favorite toppings that I've been making so much lately. It's so easy to do, and I find it just adds a yummy little crunch to like any of my meals that I make. Actually, it would have been really good on top of my turkey chili as well. But I'm gonna make my pickled red onions, and it's so easy. Take some apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, and some salt. I don't measure this, okay? I don't. I just pour it in with my feelings. These are all of my feelings. Actually, I'm probably gonna need this whole tub, which is most unfortunate. I need and I'm just gonna do a little swirly of maple syrup. That's fine? And a little dibbly dashel of salt. Put this on the stove to boil, because we just need that to heat up and then we're good. And then my least favorite part, which is cutting the onions. So I use this little mandolin just to make sure that everything is nice and even and thin. I'm going to be sobbing my face off. I've tried the goggle trick. I've tried many a things. It just, it is what it is. But this has been my favorite thing to eat and consume with all of my meals, but it's also been my favorite thing to like gift. Like if you're going over to someone's house for a dinner, or if you're going for a little housewarming or whatever, just bringing like edible goods that you've made with your own hands. And for whatever reason, like pickled red onions are the easiest thing to make, but everyone's always seemingly impressed by it. And they're like, oh my God, how'd you make these? What's your recipe? And I'm like, oh, little did you know it only took me 5 minutes to prepare these. But that's also why I bought a giant bag of red onions. And maybe I can do this with the carrots too. I wonder how that would be if I did like some spiraled carrots. Can I do that? Then that bag wouldn't be so wasteful. But anyway, I've got 2 little jars. I need to buy more of these from Amazon, because the thing is, when you bring these over to someone's house, they kind of assume that you're also giving them the jar. So I've actually lost a few of my jars now because I've been bringing them over to people's houses. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna stuff these full with the onions. You know, guys, like, it's crazy. It's so not normal. Worth it. I mean, this is a great way to clear the sinuses right now. Holy moly. Anyway, there's the little jar. I'm just like shoving these right down in there. Just trying to fill every little corner. And you can add other things in here. You can add like cloves of garlic. You can add other vegetables. You can add peppercorn little balls. I find it just tastes good by itself. I just realized I might not have enough apple cider vinegar for both jars, so I might just only be able to do one. But speaking of, our juices have heated up enough, so I'm just gonna pour this right in the jar. I just take the lid, put it upside down, and let it sit like that. Maybe I'll put like the maple syrup on top. Let this sit for like literally 5 minutes or until it cools, and then you can put it in the fridge and it's good to go. Put a little twine around here with a little ribbon, a little name tag, a little note, and it's a beautiful gift, and they also taste so good. So good. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I have it in me. I feel like I'm so over it at this point, but I did in fact soak my chickpeas overnight to make homemade hummus. But literally gonna pour this in, let it boil, and then I'll see if I can find the recipe. It's not my recipe, so I'm not gonna teach you how to make hummus right now, okay? But I did follow this dude's video to a T, and I've made it many times since, and it's so good every time. And while that's boiling, I figured I'd show you an update on the stock pot. I have a chicken carcass in here because I realized I forgot to tell you that in my sweet little Instacart Costco order, I also ordered one of the rotisserie chickens, and that's what we had last night and what we're gonna have tonight as well. Peeled off all the bones, put them in here, and then all the trimmings of the fun things that we've had today. So there's some carrots in there, there's some little chunks of sweet potato. I also cut up some onions, and I also cut up some ginger in here. And then I buy the little like soup bones from the grocery store. These are frozen. I have them in the freezer, and I put those in there. And I'll fill this up with some water and spices, and I'll just let it soak overnight, and then I'll put it to boil tomorrow, and that's gonna be my little bone broth. It's been so fun making it. It's quite tedious, and I only do it if I do have trimmings and things like a chicken and these little soup bones and stuff. I don't make it all the time, but if I'm doing like a big meal prep day like this, might as well use all of the scraps. Oh, I also put garlic in here, sorry. All the cloves and chunks from the garlic, and it looks so crazy. It's literally like, it's a compost bucket, but the bone broth that this makes, it's so good, and it tastes really good mixed in with all the other things that we've made. Or if you just want plain soup, throw your beans in there and have a little bean soup, It's just what we need this winter time to feel cozy. I found the video. Andy cooks, this guy. 5 minutes, and of course the pot has to boil over. Once it's boiling, simmer for 5 minutes. Okay, we're good. we're good. Okay, Dan, sweet angel. I totally forgot to buy onions and he just went and got me some. The most tedious part of this is just like draining it and then straining all of the shells out. So I was just doing that for the last like 20 minutes, LOL. Got some succulent lemons. I've got some chopped garlic, tahini, and then I've seen a few people talk about when they make hummus, they add cold water and or ice cubes. I have found that if I use a method and mixture of both, that works the best. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've just got my little food processor here. Again, I'm not a pro at this. It's definitely been a learning curve, but usually it works out in the end. I'm just gonna add some lemon juice right away, because that always tastes real nice. I'll start with that, and then I'm just gonna add the garlic in here too. Water right away. Oh, it's been so long, I actually haven't made this in quite a while. I forget. Did I put? You're joking. You're joking. Okay, well, this is gonna be, guys. Don't ask me why ice cubes make a difference, but apparently it does. Listen. Can you see that texture? That looks pretty good. We don't know till we try though. I've added too much salt before and that's a tragedy. Okay, okay. It definitely needs more lemon. Is this gonna change this perfect consistency? Ugh, and then just a touch more salt. No, this looks crazy. This looks store-bought. Oh my God, it's perfect, no notes. Let me tell you the power I felt when I discovered the magic of homemade hummus and why I've been ever buying store-bought hummus. You know why? I've said this before, but it's because my darling husband, Dan, had at one point finally taught me how to use the food processor. I don't know, I was so intimidated by this and I never ever used it. I had it in our pantry for so long. Look at that consistency. Oh my God, it's perfect! This is a lot of hummus, wow. And just like that, sweet, succulent hummus. Just plain classic. Oh. Use this in any of your bowls. Use it if you want to have some veggies and dip. Use it in a wrap, like, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but I'm definitely like a clean as you go person when it comes to my meal prep days. I clean in between layers because having like one mountain of dishes at the end makes me so upset. I feel like it takes so long, whereas if I just do it as I go, I'm like, I don't have too much to do. But I still gotta do this final cleanup. But I wanted to show you what my little kind of like Mediterranean bowl would look like. What it does look like, because I'm gonna eat that for dinner. So for our little magical Mediterranean bowl, I'm gonna scoop in rice lentil mixture. It smells so good, I'm telling you. The bay leaves are just everything. And the one thing I forgot to make earlier, which I just put to boil really quickly now, was my cauliflower rice. Totally forgot. I literally just bought the big frozen bag from Costco. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, but just heated it up. I need to strain it. Sorry, I don't know why I added so much water, but I'm just gonna add a big scoop of that for more fiber. Get that fiber in my belly, but also for more volume. Then we have our succulent roasted mixed veg. This was the rest of the rotisserie chicken I was talking about. And to be honest, usually I would cook up my shredded chicken. I love to kind of meal prep like a big bin of all my shredded chicken, but lately I've really been loving actually just having fresh meat throughout the week. So it kind of just depends on what's going on and how busy we are. Like if I'm home all this week. I'm not really leaving the house all that much. We're just kind of locked in with lots of filming. So I'm not too worried about it and I'm happy. Like I would prefer to have fresh meat if I can. So obviously like the ground turkey, I'm happy to do that for the soup, but for the chicken, I think it's so nice to just have like a fresh grilled little Greek seasoning chicken. So good with this bowl. Then I always buy the tzatziki from Costco as well. I love this. I have this with everything. Oh, I think Meryl sees a friend outside. Add a little bit of tzatziki. Just you wait until I learn the day when I'm making my own tzatziki. Ugh, prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. And then some homemade hummus too. And some of our homemade fresh pickled red onions. Oh. I'll just sprinkle a little Greek seasoning on there just because the chicken has no seasoning. And a little dash of salt. No, please. Please, you are perfect. My little Greek-inspired little Mediterranean bowl. Oh, if I had some olives, this would be perfect. So much variety in here. Lots of good fiber. Good gut-loving little sour things. Once you eat a bowl like this, it's really hard to eat anything else. It's so delicious. I know in my soul that not everybody is gonna love this, but like it hurts knowing that. You know, when you just love flavors so much that you're like, I can't fathom that someone on the planet wouldn't eat this and be like, this is so delicious, but I could eat a version of this every single day. And I do. And that's why I love this style of meal prep, because if I didn't want rice, I could have this with a sweet potato. If I wanted to have this in a wrap, I could make a wrap. If I wanted to switch this up and have these flavors in a breakfast bowl, I could have some eggs instead of chicken. Like, it's just, there's so many options, and everything is prepared and cooked and ready to go for the week. So here's our gorgeous meal prep. It feels like so much effort for so not a lot. Got some fresh fruit. We've got our tzatziki, some yogurt. These are the sweet potatoes. I've got egg whites. Did I say eggs? Eggs are here. Some cilantro, which Dan also picked up, bless, with the lemon. So now we have that for our stew. Got some cucumbers in there for some snacks. We've got chicken breast for tomorrow for the rest of the chicken. Got little guacamole packs. Sauerkraut here, chia seeds, more chicken stock. Almond milk and coffee on this side. And yeah, she's stocked and ready and beautiful for the week. Now really quick, just on the freezer front, in the freezer, I keep the little frozen cauliflower rice. I also have broccoli because I love broccoli. Frozen bags of shrimp if I feel like I want shrimp. And then I'm also still like totally on my same noodle bowls. I've shown my noodle bowls so many times. I'll either use shrimp or I buy the little packs of cod, which are so good if you want some like miso cod in there. I have my seal sama teriyaki sauce that if I just want to take the rice and the veggies and whip up a little teriyaki stir fry, I can use any of it. The chicken, the shrimp, the cod, make a little stir fry instead. I also have the salmon fillets. And then Dan really likes the tuna packs from Costco as well, which I don't like tuna, but those are what we keep always in the freezer. And yeah, keep my noodles and like rice papers, a bunch of things stocked in the pantry. And that's the fridge, and that's the meal prep. Now, the only other thing I didn't mention was my breakfast, like any of my breakfast options, but really I just have my oatmeal every day. I do my oatmeal, my chia seeds, some mixture of a protein powder and the various toppings, but that's pretty consistent for every day. It's been a while since I've like meal prepped breakfast. Every once in a while I'll get a craving for like a breakfast sandwich and I'll do a fun little meal prep for that. Sometimes if I'm feeling fancy, I make like a homemade turkey patty, but for the most part, my meal prep consists of my lunches and my dinners. And then every once in a while I'll toss in some like snacks and things, but the rest of it is pretty much just on the go, and it feels so good. Like, can you tell my body is like, I'm like detoxing, I'm like releasing all of my stress and woes. It feels so good to be back home to my meal prep and eating my good, delicious, healthy meals. So this is a good look at my meal prep that takes me a couple hours every week when I do it. These are a few of the consistent things that I love to have made and ready to go in the fridge, and I'd love to hear from you. What do you guys think of my picks? What do you think of my favorite flavors? And I would love to hear from you. If you have any go-to recipes that you just love and swear by and make on repeat, please send them my way. I am always happy to try new recipes, especially going into the cozy winter season. I am just itching for more delicious meals to keep me warm. Speaking of that, that's actually really funny because this is relatively cold for a meal. It's not very warm. So that's all from me today. Thank you so much for joining me for my meal prep. Some delicious, high protein, high fiber, amazing, healthy options to keep us shredded and rocking through the winter season. Are you proud of me? I didn't say hot girl winter this entire video. Love you all so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new Landmas video. Bye!